Welcome back to Insurance World TV, where knowledge meets coverage. It's always a pleasure having you with us. If this is your first time here, welcome. On this channel, we simplify insurance, explain industry trends, and help you make better financial decisions, whether you're an insurance professional, a business owner, or simply someone who wants to understand how insurance really works. Today's discussion is one that could completely change the way insurance companies, brokers, agents, and even business owners think about marketing. Because today, we're asking a very simple question. Where do insurance customers really come from? Is it Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, or is it something much simpler that many companies are quietly overlooking? Recently, we conducted a poll among insurance professionals. The question was straightforward. Which marketing channel actually converts the most insurance leads into paying customers? Honestly, even we at Insurance World TV found the results fascinating. Because the answer wasn't what many people would expect. Insurance leads generated through referrals convert 10 times more often than leads generated through Instagram and Facebook combined. Think about that. 10 times more. Now, if your company spends most of its marketing budget on social media advertising, that statistic should make you stop and ask yourself one very important question. Are we investing our marketing money in the right places? Because if another channel is producing 10 times better results, shouldn't that channel receive more attention? Today, we're going to answer exactly that. We'll look at fresh poll data connected to another survey we carried out on consumer trust and discover why the insurance industry may not have a lead generation problem at all. It may have a trust problem. Guess which channel came last? And I think you'll discover that today's lesson doesn't apply only to insurance. It applies to almost every business built on relationships. Doctors, lawyers, consultants, financial advisors, real estate agents. In every one of those professions, people don't simply buy a service. They buy confidence. So, what exactly is happening? Why are referrals outperforming social media by such a massive margin? Let's find out. Let's look at the numbers, because they tell an interesting story. When we carried out this poll, we asked just one question. Which marketing channel converts the most insurance leads into paying customers? Not which platform has the most followers, or which advert gets the most likes, or which campaign reaches the most people. But which channel actually turns prospects into paying clients? The responses were remarkably consistent. Half of everyone who participated said referrals convert the most business. That's 50%. LinkedIn followed with 30%. WhatsApp came in at 15%. And Facebook, together with Instagram, received only 5%. Just think about that. The marketing channel receiving some of the biggest advertising budgets finished last. Now, this is where many people jump to the wrong conclusion. They hear these numbers and immediately think, so social media doesn't work. That's not what the data is saying. Not at all. Social media has an important role. It introduces people to your business. It keeps your brand visible. It reminds existing customers that you're still active. It helps educate the market. But visibility and conversion are not the same thing. Think of it this way. Imagine you're walking through a shopping mall. You pass dozens of stores. You notice almost all of them. But you don't walk into every shop. And even if you do, you don't necessarily buy anything. Insurance works exactly the same way. People may notice your advert without trusting you enough to buy from you. And that's the difference this poll is exposing. It's showing us that attracting attention is only the beginning. Converting that attention into a customer is a completely different challenge. So, if referrals are converting 10 times better than Facebook and Instagram, the obvious question becomes, why? What is it about referrals that makes people so much more willing to buy insurance? The answer has very little to do with marketing and almost everything to do with human psychology. So, why do referrals outperform every other marketing channel? The answer is surprisingly simple. It all comes down to one word: trust. A few weeks before conducting this poll, we asked consumers a completely different question. We asked, what is the biggest barrier preventing people from buying insurance? The answer surprised even us. Half of all respondents didn't say insurance was too expensive. They didn't say the products were too complicated. They didn't even say they lacked information. Instead, they said something much simpler. We don't trust insurers. Think about that. For many people, the biggest obstacle is not price. It's confidence. Confidence that the insurer will actually be there when things go wrong. Now, let's place the two surveys side by side. On one side, our latest poll says referrals produce the highest conversions. On the other, our earlier survey says lack of trust is the biggest reason people don't buy insurance. Suddenly, everything begins to make sense. The marketing channels that perform best are the channels where trust already exists before the salesperson even appears. Think about how you make important decisions in your own life. Suppose you're looking for a surgeon. Would you simply click on the first Facebook advert you see? Probably not. You'd ask your doctor, your family, or friends. Because when the decision is important, you look for someone who has already earned another person's trust. Insurance works exactly the same way. Now imagine you're looking for motor insurance here in Kenya. You're scrolling through Facebook. An advert appears. Best premiums in Kenya. Buy today. Limited offer. Maybe you notice it. Maybe you even click on it. But then later that afternoon, your colleague tells you, last month, I had an accident along Thicker Road. My broker handled everything. The insurer paid my claim without any problems. If you're looking for insurance, call this person. Which message would influence you more, the advert or your colleague? Most people choose the colleague, not because the premium is cheaper or because the policy is different, but because someone they already trust has removed the biggest uncertainty. That's the real power of referrals. They don't simply introduce a salesperson. They introduce confidence. Before the broker even makes the first phone call, someone else has already answered the most important question in the customer's mind. Can I trust these people? That's why referrals convert so well. Now let's look at LinkedIn. Why did it come second? Again, it's because of trust. LinkedIn isn't just another social media platform. It's a professional reputation platform. People can see your qualifications, your experience, your recommendations, your articles, and your clients, and your professional network. Before they ever contact you, they already know something about you. They feel like they're dealing, not with a stranger, but with a professional. WhatsApp follows the same pattern. It's personal. It's direct. Most conversations happen between people who already know each other or who have been introduced by someone they trust. Now compare that with Instagram. A complete stranger interrupts your scrolling, asking you to trust them with your family's financial future. That's a much bigger leap. And that's when the biggest insight from this research became clear. The insurance industry doesn't have a reach problem. It has a trust transfer problem. Many companies spend millions creating visibility. But visibility by itself doesn't create confidence. People don't buy insurance because they've seen you. They buy insurance because they believe you. And belief is built through trust. So, if the real issue isn't visibility, but trust, what should the insurance industry do differently? The data points us toward 5 practical changes. These aren't expensive ideas. In fact, most companies could begin implementing them immediately. First, stop treating referrals as luck. Treat them as a business process. Too many agencies hope satisfied clients will recommend them. Hope is not a strategy. Every successful claim, every policy renewal, every positive customer experience should become an opportunity to ask for a referral. Imagine if every satisfied client introduced just one new customer every year. Your business could double without doubling your advertising budget. Satisfied clients are not just customers. They're your best sales team. Second, invest in LinkedIn, but not as another advertising platform. Use it as a reputation platform. People don't follow experts because they sell. They follow experts because they teach, share practical advice, explain insurance in simple language, talk about claims, discuss industry trends, answer common questions. Over time, people begin to trust your expertise, and people buy from professionals they already trust. Third, don't think of WhatsApp as just a messaging app. Think of it as a relationship platform. Many brokers only use WhatsApp to send quotations, renewal reminders, or payment instructions. But relationships are built through conversations. Check in with clients. Ask whether they have questions. Follow up after meetings. Congratulate them on milestones. When people feel remembered, they're much more likely to remember you when someone asks for an insurance recommendation. Fourth, don't abandon Facebook and Instagram. That's not the lesson. They're excellent at introducing people to your business. They're excellent at educating the market. They're excellent at keeping your brand visible. But don't expect them to close every sale. Think of social media as the front door. Its job is to invite people inside. The relationship does the selling. Finally, before approving any marketing budget, ask one simple question. Does this activity create trust, or does it simply create attention? Because those are not the same thing. An advert can attract attention. A recommendation creates confidence. A sponsored post creates awareness. A satisfied customer creates belief. And belief is what converts prospects into clients. Once you begin evaluating every marketing activity through that lens, your priorities become much clearer. You stop chasing impressions. You start building relationships. And that's where sustainable growth begins. So, if trust is the real driver of insurance sales, what does that mean for every business? And what's the one lesson we should all take away from this research? Let's wrap it up. So, what's the biggest lesson from today's research? It's not that insurance companies should stop using Facebook. It's not that Instagram doesn't work. And it's certainly not that digital marketing has failed. The real lesson is much simpler than that. Stop expecting reach to do the job that trust is supposed to do. The research tells us something we've probably known all along, but never measured this clearly. People don't buy insurance because they saw the most advertisements. They buy insurance because they believe someone will be there when life takes an unexpected turn. That belief is built through trust, and trust travels fastest through relationships. Think about your own life. When you're looking for a doctor or a lawyer or an accountant or a financial advisor, what do you ask first? Who do you recommend? Not who has the best Facebook advert. Insurance is no different. People trust people long before they trust brands. And that's exactly why referrals continue to outperform every other marketing channel. So, whether you're an insurance company, an agency, a broker, or an individual advisor, here's the challenge I'd like to leave you with. The next time you're planning your marketing budget, don't begin by asking, how many people can we reach? Begin by asking, how can we earn more trust? Because when trust grows, referrals grow. When referrals grow, conversions grow. And when conversions grow, your business grows. Perhaps that's the real competitive advantage in insurance. Not the biggest advertising budget. Not the loudest marketing campaign, but the strongest reputation. That marks the end of our presentation of this poll question. If you found today's discussion valuable, please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to Insurance World TV and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next data-driven analysis of what's really happening in the insurance industry. I'd also like to hear from you. Which channel has brought you your best insurance clients? Referrals, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, Facebook, or perhaps something we haven't discussed today? Share your experience in the comments below. Let's learn from one another. Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay informed, stay protected, and remember, let's talk insurance.